welcome to the latest episode of the About Small Business podcast. In this week's episode, I'm going to be speaking to Dan Bowes, Mr Mixologist. Dan, thank you so much for joining me.
No problem.
For the people of my generation who maybe won't know, can you explain to me what a mixologist is and what you do?
So a mixologist, I'm probably not a mixologist. It's just all in the name. So a traditional mixologist would be someone who creates really fancy high-end cocktails, experiments with lots of different flavours and things like that. Maybe does a bit of flair and things, chucking the bottle around and your cocktail shaker.
Right.
But obviously cocktails, everyone just assumes with mixology and mixologists. So that's where that name come from. But really now, as the business has gone on, I've completely changed a lot of the way that I do parties and things like that. It's more than just cocktails. It's
right. So I mean, from what I've seen of your Facebook, you're very much like the parties, organising parties for groups of people, aren't you?
It is.
So what sort of person would come to you for their parties then, typically?
So my bread and butter of the business is hen parties.
Right.
Like crazy, wild women that just love to get pissed and they love to just enjoy themselves. Like the hair down, obviously it's their last rodeo, that's the new theme of everything.
Yeah.
Cowboys, cowgirls, that sort of stuff. They just want to go wild for the weekend before they say I do.
Right.
So it's a lot of hen parties mainly, but I've done over the past decade like kids parties, so you get the more toned down Dan for the kids parties, but still high energy, making mocktails.
I was going to say, how you see
mocktails. So
you never can tell in this day and age, can you, Victor?
And then hen parties, birthday parties. I've done cancer-free parties. I've got a divorce party booked this year.
Right. Which
goes back to a hen party that I did a few years ago. So yeah.
Are you doing the divorce party a bit cheaper?
No, I'm not. No. I think they're paying more. I think they've got more cocktails than what they originally booked for the hen party. So.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And done quite well in the divorce, I assume. So. Yeah. Fantastic stuff. So very much an events organisation then. Is this something that you've always been interested in? Like sort of when you were a young lad, were you a party person or?
Well, when I turned 18, I was a party person, but before that, I was a little shit at school. I was excluded twice.
Dare I ask you what for?
I threw a bottle of water at somebody off the bus, emptied the water out the bottle.
Right.
At somebody and it hit a member of the public. So yeah, no, not one of my proudest moments, but right. Yeah, you look back at things like that and you laugh as you get a bit older, and it was some water. At least it wasn't the full bottle. And then I was awful in school. Got a year 9, knuckled down a bit. Got really good GCSEs. Had the choice of the option of what I wanted to do, the pathway I wanted to take, and that was either go into science, and I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Okay.
What stemmed from that was the 90s. Remember dolphin bathrooms and dolphin ornaments and stuff like that. I was obsessed. Went to Orlando to SeaWorld. And then I really wanted to be a marine biologist. So that way I stuck in, got good biology results and really good science results as well.
Yeah.
And I got options day, but I went down the whole art route. Because I really enjoyed art. I've always loved drawing, painting, crafty stuff. It's been something that's been I've done a lot of over the years. And then I just completely went down the art route. So my A-levels I took graphics and manufacturing, fine art and textiles and manufacturing.
Right. So for the graphics then, was that presumably was more digital art?
Yeah. So that was more creating products and marketing that product branding and things like that.
Right.
And then you looked at the manufacturing side of how you would manufacture a product. So you had to make up a client or get a client and then create product and then get that out there. And do all of that from conception to production.
Because as well as your Mr Mixologist, we've just been chatting, and you said that you do actually offer that as a service now. You've what's the name of the business again?
So it's called Mixine. So
Mixine.
It's very like I kept the Mr Mix.
Yeah.
Mixine. It was like mixing design.
Yeah.
So it's not like an official like graphic design company or business. It's that all stemmed from helping other businesses, in the local area, which I've been passionate about from starting Mr Mix right the way through to now. I've always helped and supported other local businesses through various different ways, like just sitting down, having chats with people, helping people, passing on the knowledge that I've built over the past 10 years in as Mr Mix, and just giving that out to people as freely or as cheaply as I can. So if someone needs a logo refresh or something, or something tarted up a little bit, I'll help them with that.
You can help them do that.
Like for like, I don't know, 20 quid or something. I'm not like, I don't rip people's eyes out. I'm here to help and support and get people to where my business is now compared to what it was back 10 years ago when I just started out and I had no clue what I was doing.
Yeah, and you've actually got an official group as well, haven't you?
Yeah. So Thrive Tribe was set up last February, March, so about a year ago. Started out with like 15-20 members in the Facebook group, and then that grew we've got about 150 now, and we do weekly meetups. It's moving forward, it's going to go to 2 training sessions per month,
right?
Where we deliver different training sessions on various topics, and then it's just a place to help people thrive, basically.
Yeah, very much a networking group as well. Isn't it?
So it's all about like connecting people. Like those connections that you make with people are like some of the best things you can ever do in business, because you get recommended, word of mouth, and that's like probably majority of people's main income.
In terms of the networking events, I mean, there are a number of groups. Was that an idea you had? Were you sort of disillusioned with what was already out there? Was it or was it just a case of you were enjoying helping, I suppose, friends, people that you knew, and did it come from that?
It was all a bit of off a whim, to be honest. It was
flash of inspiration.
Yeah, so I've been in numerous networking events.
Yeah,
and networks and training groups and things like that, and there was one that I really loved years ago, and it changed, and it just wasn't what it was. It was for like solo employed people, like self-employed people, who needed other solo people around them to get them motivated and things like that, because it's one of the most like saddest things ever is talking to your friends about your business and them just not getting it. Because they go to work, they get given XXX and they know they've got to do that, and they do that in that, say, 8-hour day, and then they go home, they switch off, and they go back to work tomorrow. And they've got
it is quite a significant lifestyle difference, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I just felt that there's nothing like that in the area, or what was of the group that I was originally in.
Yeah.
So the whole thing of setting up Thrive Tribe was to get like self-employed people together in a room where you can chat. If you want to cry with somebody, you can cry with somebody. If you want to laugh with somebody, you can laugh with somebody. If you want to talk about that client because they were knobs with you yesterday, then you can, like, because I've over the years just not found anything like that. Whereas this, I feel, is a positive like direction in the area that we are in for small businesses.
Going back to your early career, I suppose, you'd done A-levels.
Yeah.
What was your direction after that? Were you university?
I went to university, Sunderland University, and I done fine art, but I didn't do all of it. I done 2 years of it. I absolutely hated my lecturer. She was awful. She would just pick on me all of the time. Like, not pick on, but pick at everything I did. And it always seemed to be me. Why haven't you drew the line at the bottom of the page? Well, because it's my art.
It seems like you're not really keen on those kinds of institutions.
No, not at all. So I went into teaching after I'd done me 2 years. I'd done a year's top up. And I'd done a bit of teaching, dabbled in it, didn't like it.
Were you an art teacher?
No, so I was doing primary.
Oh, okay.
And it was never about the kids. It was always about paperwork. It was always about leading lessons with textbooks, which I strongly disagreed with. I hated it at school.
Yeah.
I had 9 out of 20 kids in my class with severe learning difficulties, so it was hard to lead a lesson with textbooks, or to the level of leading with textbooks. So I did get a lot of, I don't know, negative feedback about not leading with textbooks, and that always stuck with us, and I used to get really upset over it, that the kids were still getting the grades that they needed and all of the education that they needed, but I taught more creatively rather than chucking a textbook in front of somebody and saying, right, we're going to do page 3 and 4 in the lesson. But then I left because I fell down some cellar stairs while I was working in a bar on a weekend and broke all of my right hand.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so I broke all of my hand. I don't know if you can say it's like dodgy fingers.
Right.
Like, I was off for 3.5 months from work. I was working in the coaching horses in Consett, showing somebody how to open up. Walked down to the cellar because the cellar was behind the bar. Slipped, pulled the hatch down onto me hand, and walked back up. And my friend who was showing up how to open, I was like, "Is your head okay?" Because I sort of swiped my head back.
Right.
And I was like, "It's not my fucking head. It's my fingers." And I was like, I did like tears just started falling down my face. Out, honest to God, they were mangled. But yeah, so while I was doing that teaching, I was still working in bars.
You work in the bar, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, how did you find that? Because I mean, certainly, I know a lot of teachers now, they would really struggle to find time to do that.
Well, it was quite freely. But when I was doing the teaching, I was covering maternity.
Right.
So I was doing 4 days a week instead of the 5.
Right, and so
I just done it it was to help out my friend at the time.
Right, okay. And have you always, just going back to the mixology side of what you do, is that always been something that you've enjoyed?
Well, I used to make like pint cocktails in Consett, so it was like chaplains and coaching decades across them 3. That's where the mixology stuff sort of started, the cocktails and things and the parties. And it was in that time then I was off on the sick that I actually done my first ever cocktail party. We'll call it a cocktail party, wasn't really. It was making strawberry daiquiris in the back of someone's kitchen while they were doing an Ann Summers party.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So the theme was there, obviously, that, I suppose.
It just sort of happened. It was just one of them things. It's like, I never...
It's like a bit of a formula coming together for you, isn't it?
Like I was never ever supposed to do anything that I've done over the past 10 years. But here we are, sat with nearly 3 businesses.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yes, it well, certainly, but and so those were the beginnings of you. You've got your background working in bars as well. Was that something you did? It was like your first jobs, or?
My first job was I was a paper boy. Me and my friend Andrew and Jessica used to deliver papers in like around Black Hill. And then, I don't know, like I said, when we were at school, we were little arseholes.
I'll take your word for that.
But yeah, so the Sun newspaper, page 3, I remember like we got sick because we used to get paid crap. And then, I think it was just one day we decided we're going to rip page 3 out of all of the Sun newspapers and deliver them and write "Not for your eyes" on all of the newspapers. But yeah, I am a really nice person, by the way.
Say controversial. How did that go down?
I don't know. We never went back. So yeah, we never got paid properly. We never got paid.
I'm gonna say, cause, I mean, certainly the Sun, I think it's fair to say, sort of built a lot of their popularity on the page 3, and I can't imagine certainly some Sun readers that I know have been too pleased about that. So I think you're probably wise not to go back.
Yeah, definitely.
But
yeah, so that was like first official job, and then I think I worked in retail for a little bit, and worked in Matalan, then transferred over to the Sunderland store when I went to university. Then I went on to work at Next, but through them stores and things like that, I was quite into visual merchandising.
Right.
So like I thought of like going into that. So I applied for Next, and I went on a visual merchandising like course through them. Then binned that off, fell down the set. This was all like sort of everything's sort of interlinked. It was just.
It seems to be. I mean,
being like a weird one. I've never had any clear direction until Mr Mix.
No, I think that's often the case with creative people. And I think it's certainly from what you're saying, you seem to be, your background certainly with the art and things like that. You've been quite particular with fine art, which is obviously, for anyone that doesn't know, is the actual getting the paints on the canvas and things like that.
And fine art, it's varied. It could be anything. It's just, that's just the title of the course.
I mean, as opposed to like the graphic art, which you've already described as, you know, that very different approach to.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, I think I could turn my hand to whatever I wanted to be honest. But I found the love for partying, to be honest. I think that's it. Like, obviously I don't drink when I'm at the parties. Obviously, because you're like driving to them, but I think it's just the high energy, and it's more a character I play when I go to parties. So I can say I've got to switch this person on and off,
right,
for work.
And this person is Mr. Mix,
yeah.
Right.
So, like sitting here quite right now, like obviously I'm a lot more chilled than I would be if you were walking into an event that I was organising or a party that I was hosting.
Yeah.
Like when it's like click your fingers and people tell them to shut the fuck up and sit down, and it's like it's my turn to talk and all of that. So yeah.
Just taking control of the room.
Like it's just I don't know. That's my calling, I think.
Can you tell me a little bit? Because I'm fascinated because what you're saying sounds quite similar to what I do with a punctuation show. Obviously, I'm working with children and not serving up drinks again, but it is very much about a role, a character that you kind of become as you're doing your event. In your case, showing mine.
Yeah.
So, and it's. I mean, I'm quite fascinated because, as you said, you're a lot more chilled out now, and you seem quite. I'm not going to say reserved, but sort of quieter. Certainly, the character I would see presented on even on Facebook, on your Facebook posts. I know you just come back from holiday as well, haven't you? And seen you right, get me the sangria and
yeah, definitely. It is. It is like a character. I was a bit nervous. I don't know. So I've got a very potty mouth, so I'm trying to hold back my F's and this, that, and the other. But
our settings are not for kids on YouTube, so you go for your life. Speak freely.
Yeah, so it is like a, I don't know, like a mask.
Yeah.
But a few years ago, I learned I had to really switch that off and not be that person that everybody thinks I am all of the time, 100% of the time.
Would you say you're essentially quite an introvert then?
I get really nervous, like really, really nervous, even going to a party. Like I feel sick. I overthink everything. Like I don't know what I'm going to walk into, and it's just that constant. My mind's going 100%. Even
though you've done so many, you still feel a bit sick and
all of the time. Everything I go and do, I get nervous. I feel sick. I have to go for nervous poos before I go anywhere. It's like it is crazy. Like people think like I'm the most confident person in the whole wide world, but really I'm like probably like everybody else. Yeah, absolutely shit myself. Like going to do something. It's.
I think that's it. It's like no one actually sees. Or people see what you want them to see.
Want them to see. It is definitely
and it's
like
the
social
same
media
with everything.
And things like that. Like people see all of the posts that I post, and just think that is my life all of the time. Out partying, like living the best life ever. When in reality, when I've posted that, I'm probably sat at home in me snooty under a blanket watching something on Netflix with the dog on us. I've lived a wild life, but I do switch off. I'm not Mr Mix like all of the time.
Right. So can you tell me a little bit more about Mr Mix? What's Mr Mix like?
He's a nutter, like absolutely crazy, foul mouth. Like I'll tell you to sit down, shut the fuck up. Call your granny a whore. Like just like all in jest though. It's not. It's. I feel like it's when I switch to Mr Mix, it's all about making people laugh and entertaining them. Rather than, it's not, I'm never there to offend, but I always give everyone that pre-warning. If you're here and you're easily offended, then fuck off over in that corner over there because... Yeah.
It's surprising what you can get away with, though, isn't it? When you're in that sort of character.
I feel like, especially as a gay man, you can get away with anything with a group of women. I could, don't know, tell someone to jump off the cliff and they'll go do it just because I was a gay man.
Just since you brought it up, do you think that affects your audience? I suppose. I mean, have you ever been asked to do, I don't know, a stag do or anything like that?
I've done like a joint sten do, so stag and hen do once before, but no, lads go out on a stag do. They go out to a city or whatnot, and they go and drink lager traditionally.
Yeah,
women love a cocktail, so it's that.
Yeah, it's cocktails and prosecco, isn't it, for women? Or gins, or sort of just something a bit different, and tends to be a lot more expensive. Whereas like blokes, it's like whatever lagers there will do.
yeah, definitely. So I don't I've not done any male only.
Yeah. So,
and women is the bread and butter of my business. It's that like I've said before, it's hen parties, birthday parties. Girls go away and they'll pay thousands for a lush house.
Yeah.
And then they'll get me in and they'll hire me to do the cocktails, play games with them and the entertainment that way. Whereas lads want to go out to a pub, in a bar, in a city and drink pints.
It's I think it is an interesting distinction there, though, because women are just seems to be. I think they're more about having fun.
Yeah, and the plan.
Yeah,
the plan. Group chats, crazy. Women's group chats,
and that's part of it, isn't it?
The amount of messages that I get being like, "Can you just confirm this? If you see in this group chat?" And a screenshot of what everyone's saying in the group chat. It's nuts. They have like itineraries for everything. So you'll get there and there'll be a board, an easel with like times on and everything that's happening, and they love a plan. They love a fancy house, and they love a cocktail and to get pissed and have a good laugh.
Can you see that changing? Because I mean, I know certainly in a lot of bars, the cocktail bars, you getting a few more men go in, like sort of, when I go out, my wife, she likes a cocktail now and again, so I'll have one, because a lot of the time it's the 2-for-1 offers, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't mind that. Do you think men are becoming a little bit more cosmopolitan in their drinking habits, or do you think it's that, I suppose, quite cliched perspective that men will just go where the women are, or straight men?
I don't know. I feel like it's just it's just people are becoming more open as the years go on, open to trying new things, tasting new things. There's a lot of bars that do a vast range and type of cocktails. So you can have the ones in the martini glass, which will probably put majority of them like men off, because they don't want to be walking around a bar holding a martini glass or a coupe. But they'll walk around with a Negroni or something.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's just like men, genders, and stuff like that. I don't think there's any other thing to do with it other than that, and people's perception of what they look like with what glass in the hand. It's a glass. Yeah. At the end of the day, in my eyes, it doesn't matter what drinks in front of you. It doesn't matter what glass it comes in.
No.
But whereas there's a lot of people that would probably try and stay away from the stigma of holding a cocktail because it's girly.
If you're enjoying this content, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to let you know exactly when another podcast's going to drop. I'm just trying to think about this, because I can honestly say if I'm going out, then it doesn't really bother me if I'm holding a cocktail glass. Mm-hmm. But then I'm in my 50s. Typically, I'll be with my wife if I'm having a cocktail. But it's not really something that particularly crosses my mind. But I do agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying.
Lots and lots of people won't. You hear it all. Because I've worked in a few bars, so through Mr Mix, I've done consultancy work with bars and restaurants. That's like training, menu development, and things like that. So I've been behind the bar continuously over the past 10 years as well. So you see lads, when you make a cocktail, can you pour that into a different glass and stuff? I've heard it all. Why? It's a porn star martini. It comes in a coupe glass or a martini glass. Well, because I'm not walking around with that. And it's like, okay. It's probably better that they're not walking around with a martini glass, because they always spill them. You never get someone that'll take a a martini or style glass off the bar without spilling half of it before they get to the table.
As you say, I mean, you're an openly gay man. Do you still have those kind of lads with any kind of problem with you?
No, yes. Obviously, there's still homophobia in the world and things like that. It's like drastic, but I was bullied through school for being gay, etc., etc. Funny story. One of my best friends now, like, openly bullied us back then, but like, we'll laugh about it now. It's that's kids, but not as adults. There still is. It tends to be a lot more younger, like just starting going out, like 18, 19-year-olds that would probably have a little snigger or a laugh because I'm wearing a multicolored shirt that's got pink in it or something.
That surprises me though, because I mean, certainly my understanding is, sort of working with schools, it just doesn't seem to be that big a deal at schools, whereas I know...
Probably not that it's not a big a deal, it's probably just because it's not spoken about much. Bullying in schools, I don't think so. It's not a massive topic, so that's probably, it's not like there's lots and lots of kids bullied. I've got friends with kids that are bullied in school and stuff, or people that I know of with kids that are bullied in school. But like as an adult, there is still, like I say, as we was talking about for homophobia, there is still homophobia in the world, and people do still get stigmatized for anything. It doesn't matter, even if like a straight man wore a pink shirt and they went out with the lads, it would be, what the fuck you wearing pink for? Like that sort of vibe. Like
it's interesting. I'm thinking it's like sort of the other shirt that I wear to do this is pink.
But it's there and it exists and it's still there. I just turn a blind eye to it. No, you can say any fucking thing you want of me, and it would never offend us or hurt us. I've been through it all. It's just you just develop that.
I suppose in a way you've got to do it.
It's not like it doesn't, like, nothing offends me at all. Like absolutely nothing.
I suppose. I mean, if you're comfortable enough to have come out at school, when you did, as I say, I'm just thinking back to when I was teaching. It's like not many kids I don't think would have had that self-confidence. I know certainly through Facebook friends, a lot of kids have since come out. Some have been surprises, some haven't been. I think most importantly, it means nothing to me anyway.
Nothing to me either. Whatever you want to do, you do. Like, it doesn't.
It'd be nice if everyone just thought like that, though, wouldn't
it doesn't. Well, like, it does not affect me.
No, it's
like someone putting bloody, I don't know, building a fence in the garden and it's like a centimetre over your bloody boundary line, and then your neighbour kicking off. Like, it's not that much of a deal. Like just a centimetre, like, crack on with it.
Get over it, like, and deal with it.
Live your life, concentrate on you and work on you before you're bothered about everybody else and what everybody else is doing.
It is relevant to this discussion, I feel, because in many ways it's sort of shaped what you're doing, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I've no fucks given when I go out and do the parties. It's all about having fun, just enjoying yourself, letting your hair down.
Do you think what you went through at school perhaps gave you confidence to do that?
Probably a lot of the confidence now, like being so, I don't know, standing up in front of like a group of 30 women and shouting, screaming, getting them up to do games and things like that. Yeah, definitely.
That's it's not everyone's ideal job, is it?
It's not, no, but it's a really good social life,
life. Is that important to you?
Definitely, yeah. Like, I'm a very people person. Very, very people person. Like, COVID was hard for me, really hard, like, because I basically had no one. I lost every aspect of social, like everybody else did, but I was out partying with like hundreds of people a week. And like seeing that many people, it was crazy. So
I can imagine that'd been a big shock.
Yeah, it was hard, but
because you live alone.
Right.
I was going to say, because I mean, sort of through COVID, that I kind of went through a similar thing. It was like, I mean, I was set up as a limited company. Limited company director, because of the nature of like when I got business in was typically through the school term times. It's like, well, I can't be bothered setting up the pay as you earn. And so consequently just didn't. And it's that thing because, there was nothing put in place for us. I had that side of things, but I was lucky insofar as I was living with my wife and my children, which made everything. Mm-hmm. There's very much a good side to it. I was doing like the punctuation show online. The buskers were playing every Friday night online and keeping going. I seem to remember you were trying to do like sort of cocktail deliveries and things like that.
Yeah, so I did do some cocktail deliveries. It was like to your door and things like that.
Yeah, so still the entrepreneurial side of it.
It was still there, but it just wasn't the same. I tried hosting quiz nights and stuff. I'd done a few. I think the most attendees for one of them was like nearly 1,500 people joined this Facebook Live one night and joined into this quiz where I got pissed off 3 bottles of wine, and I think there was one of them I was dressed up as bloody Carol Baskin, and they were wild, but that was good, but it was so hard, COVID.
Yeah, it's and then obviously we came out with that, and you
it was hard getting back into things. So obviously I said before that the hen parties are what make Mr Mix, and they weren't happening straight away. So obviously we had this whatever went on where it was like 1 month you could go out, the next month you couldn't, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
Weddings just weren't happening as
a lot of people didn't know where they were going with that.
So no one knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like I had to give back so many deposits because I didn't have because COVID wasn't written into terms and conditions and things like that. It was crazy. But then when obviously things got back to normal, it was that whole thing of when am I going to restart? Like bars were restarting. People wanted to go out, but me going to the cottage up in Northumberland or whatever, or Tyne House in Newcastle and places like that, well, that wasn't there yet. But all these lovely fancy houses and things, when am I going to them? When am I starting again?
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be nearly 2 years later that all that started to kick back in again.
Yeah.
Because people then started rebooking the weddings. Like they were going away for the abroad hen parties. Then they were having the UK hen parties, and then it did take a long time to get back to normal.
I do remember that same in sort of with the buskers. I remember we had to cancel quite a lot of weddings, and then the booking started then coming in thick and fast. But obviously there's a delay, isn't there?
Yeah. It's like it was a delay because people were just in that limbo of not knowing what the fuck was going on with their life. Where like, am I getting married? Am I not getting married? I know of a few people that said they were getting married and then they still aren't married because they've just give up.
Yeah.
Because of everything that happened. It was crazy. It was nuts, but it took a long time to get back into things.
Did that really take it out of you mentally as well?
Oh yeah, definitely, it really did.
It's because I can only imagine, as you say, it's like, because what is very much coming across is that you've already mentioned you're overthinking. If you've not got that outlet of being able to become your alter ego, I suppose. I can only and then you're sort of on your own with those thoughts. I can only imagine how tough that must have been.
It was hard. Yeah, I had in lockdown. I took an overdose and I tried to commit suicide, but I've spoke about it quite openly to people. Right. I don't know if I was ready to say this, but yeah, it was hard. It was really hard, but then obviously it took the 2 years to get back to normal.
And you built that back up.
Yeah, I built that back up. Like it was tough.
How long after that did you decide to like sort of just start to look at developing your design business as well, and your social media business?
That has only been the past year.
That's only been the past year.
Yeah. So Mr Mix turned 10 last year. And it was, I don't know how I got onto that. It was sort of like another how Mr Mix started. It was never meant to be. Yeah. It just happened.
Yeah.
So I've done all of my own graphics and stuff, and Facebook posts, my own social media. I've got like qualifications that I've got over the years.
I was going to say you've obviously got a background in that as well, haven't you?
I think I'm probably I got the most GCSEs. I think I got 17 GCSEs, and then I got the 3 A levels, and then the degrees. Then I've got like umpteen qualifications over these. There used to be so much funding for small businesses when I first started, which was amazing because I went on like numerous courses. So I went on digital marketing courses, like what other stuff I've got? There's loads. There's just a pile of certificates that I've got in a drawer somewhere.
There's just not much funding for anything now, is there?
No, nothing. But like there was the European funding stuff. Like obviously we left the European Union, so that doesn't exist anymore. And that was a massive pot of money that was so beneficial to like small businesses.
Yeah.
And now you've got to jump through so many hoops just to get pennies.
Yeah.
And I just think it's rotten. Like even like back when obviously COVID happened, getting help with money and support, universal credit and things like that, that was awful. You were like you were almost looked down upon because you were self-employed, and you wouldn't just give up everything that you'd built over for 7 years.
Yeah.
To drop all of that to then just go and get a job in a shop. Like, no offense to anybody that works in a shop, but like I didn't spend 7 years of my life building a business and a reputation and things like that, to drop it all just because of a global pandemic.
Yeah, I think people don't necessarily realise that, you know, as you say, with all due respect to people that work in shops, it is something that you can go in and get training and you can do, whereas something where you've got a business where you've built it up for yourself. There's
the passion and the love for it.
That's exactly it. There's so much passion. There's so much of yourself that you put into there, and a real emotional attachment.
It is definitely. So I would never ever, if someone ever told somebody to pack the business in and go get a job, and if they were in the job centre for whatever on universal credit, like literally turn around and give them the fucking middle finger, because you need to. I'd like struggle by and can continue with your business and work at it. Like it's some of the support that they give out from job centres and things like that for small businesses is crazy. Like, you put them on, like, you get a year to start your business up, and after that year, if not, then they basically give you absolutely fuck all, which is crazy because small businesses generate so much money in tax and things like that. It's
the core of the British economy, really, that I don't think a lot of people realise, and it is getting tougher and tougher.
It's sad. I think that was another reason why like Mixine and Thrive Tribe has come about, because from me personally, like giving back to the local area, giving back to the community, to them small business, helping them with everything that I've built and I've learned over the years is just something that I feel so strong about.
Yeah, I was going to say it's interesting because sort of chatting to you in this environment, because I can imagine Mr Mix within that appropriate environment of your parties and things like that, but sitting and chatting to you and everything that you've been through, I really can just sort of picture the Thrive Tribe, and I can visualize how it is developing, and where, and the sort of wisdom that you can sort of pass on through everything, just building up from a random set of circumstances, really, wasn't it, as you've said yourself. So, and then to be able to chat to other people about that. So
it's just passing on that like, I've been through the shit. I've been there, done that. A lot of the businesses that are in the group are small businesses. There is a few other businesses that are same age as mine, and maybe a couple that are a bit older. But it's that whole just being there, being a network of support to each other and helping.
I'm going to say
it was all supposed to be just networking. It was supposed to be just meeting up for couples, having a bit chit chat and talking about shit. And then now it's me standing in front of the room of people, delivering training on like loads of different subjects, from being confident in front of people, or like tomorrow we've got a session. Obviously it'll not be when this goes out, but tomorrow's session's all about doing a brand strategy, and just having stuff written down in front of you so you know exactly what your business is, what you need to do to get your business in front of people, etc., like the pillars of your business and all sorts like that, like just to give you people clarity, because there's a lot of people probably like me, like I'm probably undiagnosed ADHD or something like that, but
a lot of business owners seem to be. Certainly through doing these podcasts, that's something that's A couple of things that are coming up. The loneliness stroke mental health side of things has been a quite a significant feature, but also this if we call it neurodivergence, and possibly related, I don't know, but that has been quite a big
it
thing.
Is, and it is something that's big at the moment. It's like it seems to be the thing that is at the forefront of everything at the moment, is like the neurodivergence, which you say, and the waiting lists are huge and things like that. But yeah, I would say I probably could fit into that category somewhere. But like I was getting on to, it was everybody's got scatterbrains. Like there's just so much going on in your brain, you don't know what you're doing, and then putting these plans in places. This is what I always tell everybody when they come to the 5 tribes is like, literally plan, write it down, and then if it's written down, then it's there, you know you've got to do it. Whereas if it's up here, it gets pushed to the back, and then you start something new. I'm the worst for it, so I don't know why I'm going around telling everybody else to do it, but because I'll be working on like
again, it's what you're passing on though, isn't it?
I'll be sat there working on 5 or 6 things at the same time. So I'll have someone's design open here for a logo, but then I'll be doing a video for Mr Mix over here. Then on that one, I've got someone's social media account open, and I'm posting on the social media account, and I've got emails open here, and I'm replying to emails, and I'll just flitter between them all instead of just getting one task. But that's how I work best. And it is all about finding out how you work best, but it's also, I also have everything written down somewhere.
It's got to be about what's best for you.
Notes.
Just out of curiosity, have you ever considered opening your own bar?
Yes, so numerous times. I've done an April Fool now for the past 10 years. I'll find somewhere that's derelict and I'll be like, coming soon as an April Fool. But to be fair, like I would love to, but also I don't know. I'd probably miss the parties. I've never had anybody work for us before, bar like topless butlers and the odd person helping us out, but I don't know. I would love it. I love being behind the bar. I love that being me. People would, when I was at the courthouse, people coming at the courthouse, be like, oh, Dan. Or when I was at El Pincho, there'd be lots of people coming in there. I was at the Dog and Parrot. I've been at the Lounge one day, and like there's various other places and things like that I've been to, and everybody would come in and shout, "No, how you doing?" and stuff like that. And I love that sort of vibe. But the parties, just, I don't know, it's the parties. I like them. And it's a massive investment getting a bar. And I couldn't just get a bar and open it and that be it. It would have to, I don't know, thousands and thousands of pounds. I think I've done a...
You want to put your own stamp on it?
I've done a costing for, you know, where, was it Jury's menswear was in Consett?
Oh, right,
they've just put a vape shop in it or something, another one. There, I've done a costing on that about 4 or 5 years ago. And like just the kit and everything that I wanted, and everything that I wanted to slide from one floor to the next floor, bright pink slide, like a ball pit, like proper quirky stuff, like mirrors and this, that and the other all over, like quirky toilets, like absolutely crazy vibes. And it was going to come in at like, I think it was like 500,000.
It's not a surprise.
It's just, and that, like in this day and age, securing a loan for something like that's just, they'd probably laugh at you, especially that was going to be in Consett.
It's quite a risk as well, isn't it?
Definitely. So. Like, I love Consett. Like, I don't think I would ever move away. People will probably be like, what the fuck is he thinking? Like, not move away. But it's a lush area. It's got so much potential. The community's amazing. I think
that's it. It's beautiful. It's friendly.
Built my business. Yes, the town centre might be a shithole, but who goes to town centre? Everybody. If everybody done their little bit and everybody helped in doing this, that, and the other, then it might not be a shithole. We can't all just sit back and just sit there and think like, oh, it's council's responsibility. Like, the flower beds needed planting up and like whatever, but I don't know, could have put a part of, got like a collection in one of the bars later and like nearby that has them flower beds outside. They could have planted them up themselves. For all it's the council's responsibility, yes, but how much would it have cost to do that? I could have done it, but I do other things as well. I do too much of the things. Like, I do the egg hunt every year now.
I would say you're quite
into
your community as well, aren't you?
My annual community event. That's like my big thing. So in January, at the end of January, everything goes out to start fundraising for that and getting sponsorship. So for the past 7 years, I've done it, and we get prize pools of like nearly £5,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So the first year it started, it was only like a couple of £100, but it was crazy. Didn't have enough stuff for everybody.
What typically you're raising money for that?
To put on a free event for the community.
Right.
So I get sponsored. So first of all, it started. I wanted to do some quirky marketing thing around Easter. So I was going to hide golden eggs around Consett with Mr Mix stuff in. Then a friend in business said, I want to be involved in that. And then someone else was like, oh yeah. So I was like, right, okay. So what can I do to make this a bit bigger, a bit better? So I asked a few more local businesses sponsor. We're going to buy eggs, toys, crafts and stuff, and then we're going to give them away to people. I'll pop up at iconic locations in Consett. In the car, pop a table up, put all the crap out on the table, and then people can come along and just take what they want, basically, like fairly. And then we've done that, and it was absolutely mad. It was manic, crazy. I'd never seen anything like it. People wheel spinning in car parks, like, to try and get there first, and absolutely nuts. Like, I was gobsmacked. The next year, there was full-on rules and regulations that I wrote up, and it was like, don't act like a knobhead, or you're got to be welcome back to the next location, like all that sort of stuff, like telling the parents to pack the fuck in because they were the worst offenders. Like they were the worst offenders, absolutely nuts. I remember going to, Hounsgale Viaduct, the car park near there, pulling in there, and it was like a lush day, so the ground was like dry. The way people were coming in there, it was like a one-way road as well, almost, isn't it, to get to there. Wheel spinning in it, you couldn't see because there was just that much dust all over. People were just absolute crackers. But yeah, so for the past 7 years, I approached local businesses. There's 3 different types of sponsorship. So there's £30 and 2 business vouchers, £50 and 1 business voucher, sorry, and then there's £100 or more. Because there's some businesses that don't do vouchers, so like there's factories and things like that sponsor through their community fund projects and stuff. We'll have collections like baskets in Tesco's and Morrison's, so they people can buy in the shop and drop them in there. And the past 2 years last year and this year we've got an Amazon wish list where people can buy off the wish list, and that comes straight to me and it goes into the big pile. Right,
all helping the community. So I mean, you've now got 3 businesses. You've got your community events. What's the future look like for you and for Mr Mix?
I don't know. More.
Continue
what else can I do? Our podcast.
There we go.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Podcast. So Shaken, Stirred and Slightly Slurred is going to be a podcast. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Like I've come to nosy at all your stuff.
And why not? So 3 businesses, charity events, and then a podcast to look forward to at some point in the future. Future is looking bright. I hope it is as bright as your shirt, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
No worries. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.